we're gonna do a really cool cast iron baked cookie. A cast iron baked cookie is where you get a big cast iron pan like this one. You essentially bake the cookie in that and eat it in the tray, cut it up like a pizza, ice cream, delicious. Really cool. So I found a recipe that I liked, which is one that I like use for when I make cookies. Pretty simple cookie recipe. You don't want to make it too complicated, but it's a nice, so chewy cookie recipe. You don't want like a hard, crunchy cookie recipe, but this one's good. I'm gonna get my big mixing bowl. That's our main bowl, chat. We can spin. And definitely not drop. It'd be super embarrassing if we did that on the internet, although we're a bit cringe around here anyway. So we need to put the flour, and you guys know I always follow recipes when I'm baking because I'm not a baker. The other stuff we're just gonna do with our heart, but this one, we'll just make sure we're doing it all right. So we need to put 2 2/3 of a cup of flour, 1 cup, and where's my third of a cup? 2/3 of a cup going in. One tablespoon of cocoa powder. And we just put in 1 tablespoon cocoa powder in there. Just a pinch of salt, just a little bit there. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. All right, so we're just gonna mix this together now. Just make sure that's nicely combined. So in another bowl, we need a 1/2 cup of butter and 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar and 1/4 of a cup of white sugar. 116, that is about as close as we're gonna get in this kitchen. It's probably why my baking fails more often than not. If I was a proper baker, I would have taken it out like I did when Annika told me to and kept it at room temperature for a few hours, but I forget to do these things. So I have soft butter now. So we want to put 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar and 1/4 of a cup of white sugar. We want to find our brown sugar. This is my box of sugars. 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. And I want this like packed in brown sugar. 1, 2, 3 cups, oh sorry, 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. And I've got some fine caster sugar for this. Get in there, sugar. We're just gonna mix this together. Right, so we will get our little electric whisk, because that is what we like in baking, combined ingredients. That butter and sugar, nice and creamed together. So add 1 large egg now. So to this mix, we're gonna add 1 large egg and 1 tablespoon of sour cream, which is always something that I found weird about this recipe because I haven't used it before. Putting sour cream into a cookie recipe seems unusual, but it works. 1 egg goes in and 1 tablespoon of the sour cream. Maybe when I talk to Annika, our baker friend of the show, one of this Big Small World collaborators and an amazing streamer in her own right, does great cakes. I don't know if you saw that episode we did together, but maybe she can tell us why sour cream in a cookie would work. So vanilla, we don't measure vanilla, we don't measure vanilla, and we don't measure garlic. Just use your heart. Good dose of vanilla in there. So then we're gonna mix together until it's combined. Cool, so we've got our nice sort of buttery egg mixture. I'll go to the prep can so you can see what's going on here. We now need to put the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. And we need a very thick dough is what we're trying to make here. So just make a little well in the middle. And we're gonna add this. So we have our wet and dry ingredients combined. So we want to mix these through together. And then with a spatula. So this nice paddle spatula here. Just fold that through, make sure it's really nice and combined. With your oven, you want it on about 150 degrees, I think. Go about 175, should be all right. Depending on your oven as well, you'll know. So to that, we're gonna add some choc chips. And we want about half a cup. That looks perfect, right? You see your little cookie dough there? What we're gonna do, that little cast iron pan we've got, I'm just gonna take the handle off this one, just unscrews, and now this will just go in the oven. You just get a little bit of butter or margarine. You want about a tablespoon, depending on the size of your pan. You could do this in a regular baking tray though, or a cake tin, up to you. Right, so a generous amount, and you want to coat the entire inside. So that's just gonna help it not stick. Lastly, we're gonna bring back our sugar bowl, a little bit of sugar in there. So swirl that around, right? You see what I'm doing there with the sugar? And then just tapping it around like such, just so that it coats the sides. So now you can see the whole inside is coated in that butter and sugar. Okay, and then into there goes our big blob of cookie dough. Roll up your sleeves and just press that cookie down into your cast iron pan there. Into the oven that goes. See our little cookie there? Delicious. And that will, that'll bake in that cast iron pan. It's exactly what we want. It's gonna get nice and delicious and gooey cookie. It's basically like a giant cookie. So, chat, I'm just gonna get that cookie out of the oven. So we are done. That is our cast iron cookie. That is so, so good. Now we need to tackle our giant cookie. We have this monstrous cookie we just baked. You would hog all that to yourself, that is totally fine. Look at that. Is that not the most amazing looking cookie you've ever seen? Giant cookie in a cast iron pan. Pretty sure that's a cake? I assure you it's not. I assure you it is definitely a cookie. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get a knife here, and all you do is just cut the cookie like you would a pizza. Just like that. You have your cookie, it is broken up into 8 different pieces for all your friends to eat. Just get yourself a cake server, because you can use that to pull the cookie out. Look at that. That is a big cookie. I've got some nice fresh mint. Let's get a really good, nice big sprig of that. And I got some ice cream. So I really like vanilla ice cream with my chocolatey things, but you could use whatever ice cream you like. But essentially what you want is a nice big scoop in the middle, just like that, sprig of mint. Just before that ice cream melts too much, I'm gonna take my cookie and my ice cream, and we are gonna try some. Looks like some of your grandma would make. Some wholesome stuff, definitely is. Delicious, all right. So nice cookie, let's just try some of the cookie by itself. Oh my God. That is so, so good. Quick, everyone come around to my house and try some, because oh my God. I mean, not my house, this Big Small World studio. With the ice cream, sublime. That's so good. So we're gonna finish up. I appreciate it. Love you all, bye.
Hey YouTube, thanks for watching. You can watch me stream on Twitch, catch my videos right here, or check me out on Instagram. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.